Are Republicans liking the Electoral College today because it works? It's giving them an advantage.
Oh, there's absolutely no doubt that many do, and that many Democrats dislike it for the same reason. That is not the reason on which people should be making their decisions now. To the best of your ability, we need to separate ourselves out and think, what is this going to be like going forward? And indeed, I think I think this is a winning part of this debate, so to speak, for us, because what is creating this emphasis of getting rid of the Electoral College? It's that Democrats have had 2 recent elections where they've lost the Electoral College and won the popular vote. So naturally, they're like, oh, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. What's funny is, remember, in both of those elections, going in, the widespread view was that you might have the opposite, where the Democrat would win the Electoral College but lose the popular vote. Remember all the talk about Hillary Clinton's blue wall? The idea was Republicans couldn't win enough states even if they won the popular vote. So I think you're right. I do think there's a little Democratic-Republican thing, but we need to try to set that aside and look at the merits.
But let me take that to Kate just very briefly. Are all sides making self-serving? I'm not talking about the 4 of you, but in generally has this shaped up as a conflicting sides making self-serving interests as opposed to interests on the larger principle? What do you think on that, Kate?
Look, I think there's some self-serving arguments. I also think that in some ways it's unfortunate for the tenor of this debate that in 2004, so it was actually a very live possibility that in 2004 John Kerry would have won the electoral votes of the state of Ohio. He lost very narrowly to George W. Bush, then would have won an Electoral College victory and lost the popular vote. So we would have had a partisan flip. And instead we have, in the last 2 decades, this divergence and increasing divergence. Potentially in 2020, we could see an even wider split than 2016, where you have Democrats winning the popular vote and Republicans winning in the Electoral College. Now, I think that Texas trending blue could also sort of scramble that electoral logic. But I think Brad is right that that certain demographic trends in reality suggest that Democrats would do better in a popular vote election and Republicans do better in an Electoral College vote election. But again, I think that you could see a couple of states flip, and all of a sudden the electoral logic of the current state of affairs could change quickly.